Travel consideration provided by...
At Domino's, we know there's a lot of pressure to tip these days. Which is why we want to say...
Thanks for the tip.
By tipping you back. Tip your Domino's driver $3 or more online and we'll tip you $3 to use on next week's order.
Work. Play. Blink. Relief. Work. Play. Blink. Relief.
The only 3-in-1 extended relief formula for dry eyes.
Blink.
All right, before we go, did you know that Sandra Bullock is a Friends fanatic?
I did not know that.
She even told us her favorite episode.
The one where Courtney Cox put the turkey on her head. That episode made me pee in my pants.
But Sandy's favorite character? Well, sounds like it's Lisa Kudrow's Phoebe Buffet.
Let's go!
Lisa.
Happening now.
People here in Floresville are trying to get back on solid ground after an explosion rattled their neighborhood. I'll tell you why some say it was a few minutes that made the difference between life and death.
If you're unfamiliar with J.D. Vance, tonight is a chance to get to know him. We'll preview his first speech as Donald Trump's running mate next.
Not our typical July forecast, that's for sure. Some promising rain chances to talk about and cooler than average temperatures. News at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, picking up the pieces. People in Floresville still adding up the damage from a fiery gas main explosion. It flattened one home, caused damage including broken windows to several others.
But as Katrina Weber shows us, people there are just grateful that no one was killed.
A neighbor's camera captured images that people in Floresville are still trying to process. Smoke and flames on H Street near 9th, where a home once stood. A statement from the city says a crew installing fiber optic lines accidentally hit a gas main yesterday afternoon, which then triggered an explosion.
No, I never seen it like that one. Never have.
Glad you weren't here at the time?
Yeah.
Julian Trevino had just left a friend's home moments before.
Took out the windows out.
They both came back to a broken window after spending the night in a motel, shocked by what they saw across the street. From above, you can see the pile of charred wood in the space that held the neighbor's home. All around is debris and other homes with broken and boarded up windows. This Dairy Queen is at least a block away from the explosion site. Now, the impact shattered the windows here, but what's crazy is that nothing between here and there has any damage.
My house moved, my house cracked the walls and the windows broke.
Mary Barrera lives behind the destroyed home. Because of the damage to her place, she's eating out, unable to cook at home. Still, she's grateful no one was hurt.
I was happy everybody was fine, but I'm sorry for my friend because she lost her house.
Crews spent all day working to repair the gas line that blew. But the big question some people have now is who's responsible for repairs to the homes? Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
New at 5, a plea deal for a murder suspect. He was facing multiple charges, but the plea is the same for all of them. Guilty. Among those charges that Dontre Laurent Nestle pleaded guilty to murdering a man in 2021 outside a local gym after a basketball game and for shooting off a gun during another basketball game just last year. Nestle sentenced to a total of 107 years in prison on 5 charges, but he'll be serving those sentences concurrently, meaning he will only serve 37 years at the most. 37 was for the murder following that basketball game in July of 2021 at a fitness center. Nestle opened fire on 2 people as they were leaving. Orlando Stewart hit in the head and died at the scene. SAPD detectives say witnesses identified Nestle as the shooter, but police were not able to find him at that time. Then in January of last year on a basketball court on Copper Hill, Nestle pulled a rifle and started shooting off multiple rounds toward players again. 1 person was hit but survived. Nestle, who was already a convicted felon, must serve at least half of his 37-year sentence before being eligible for parole.
Now to a follow-up this evening, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has identified a man whose body was found in early July along Highway 281. He is Alexis Jose Vegas, and the ME is calling his death a homicide. A passerby found Vegas' body along the southbound lanes of 281 between Bassey Road and Hildebrand back on July 1st. He'd been shot. Police tell us they found several shell casings next to Vegas' body, but so far, no arrests have been made.
Major traffic tie-up, a major situation we want to tell you about coming up.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, a man is recovering after he told police that he and his car got caught in the crossfire of a shooting on the west side. This happened around 2:45 a.m. SAPD officers say the man told them that he was driving in the area of Chupaderas and Torreon when he saw 4 men in dark clothes, 2 of them on each side of the street. The victim says that he believes those men were initially shooting at each other, and as he drove by, he was shot once and his car was hit several times. Officers say they found the victim lying on the ground with a gunshot wound along North Pinto. He was expected to survive.
Now we're going to go to 410 and Jackson Keller, and you can see it's a traffic mess there, but we're not exactly sure what started it. We see fire engines that are there blocking off the scene and kind of blocking our view, but this is affecting both the east and westbound lanes of Loop 410 at Jackson Keller. That's where the camera is. And you can see that traffic is backed up in both directions. We're assuming it was a traffic accident there, but traffic just down to 2 lanes in one direction. All the lanes open in the other. Not sure if there's something traffic related in the others or if people are just slowing down to take a look at exactly what's happening. But we're going to stay on top of the situation at Loop 410 and Jackson Keller. It is day 3 of the Republican National Convention, and tonight's theme is Make America Strong Once Again, with speakers expected to focus on Donald Trump's America First stance on foreign policy. The former president's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, will address the convention in a much anticipated speech.
Julia Benbrook joins us from Milwaukee now with what we expect to hear from the VP nominee. Julia.
Well, Vance is expected to focus in on his own backstory. He was raised primarily by his grandparents in Rust Belt, Ohio, before enlisting in the Marines, attending Ohio State University, and then Yale Law School. Now, he's detailed a lot of his upbringing in his best-selling book, Hillbilly Elegy, but tonight will give him a major opportunity to introduce himself to many Americans. Former President Donald Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, set to take the stage at the Republican National Convention. Earlier in the day, Vance spoke at his first official campaign event outside of the convention.
We're going to get out there and try to fire up the crowd tonight and make the case, a very easy case to make, but an important case to make, that we have got to reelect President Donald J. Trump to the White House.
The former venture capitalist, veteran, and author entered Congress with an assist from Trump, whose endorsement helped him win a contentious race in 2022.
J.D. Vance, we love you, J.D. I've gotten to know him really well. He's a great guy.
The 39-year-old has been an outspoken supporter of Trump in Congress and often votes in allegiance with the former president's interest.
We need to have people who are supporting Trump, not trying to stab him in the back. It's very, very simple.
But Vance hasn't always been a Trump cheerleader, and Democrats will surely use past comments against him. During the 2016 presidential campaign, Vance repeatedly went after Trump, including in a since-deleted tweet where he called him reprehensible. Vance has since apologized for criticizing Trump and says the former president's record in office speaks for itself.
I was certainly skeptical of Donald Trump in 2016, but President Trump was a great president, and he changed my mind.
Now we're learning that Vance's wife, Usha, is expected to introduce him on stage tonight. Tomorrow will be the big headliner. Trump himself will take the stage, and the Trump family is expected to be here. While several of his children have made appearances throughout the week, that's the first time that we expect to see former First Lady Melania Trump in the audience. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Julia Benbrook, KSAT 12 News.
So, Julia, besides the headline speech from J.D. Vance tonight, who else are we expecting to hear from this evening?
Well, a Texas connection you all may be interested in. Governor Greg Abbott is slated to speak tonight. As you mentioned earlier, the theme is Make America Strong Once Again, and there is going to be a big emphasis on border security throughout the night. Now, one of the top VP contenders, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, is also slated to speak, and these speeches can be kind of an audition, but Trump has made it clear that he may already be considering Burgum for a cabinet position. He called him Mr. Secretary on a recent private call. Also expected to speak, Trump's oldest son, Donald Trump Jr. And that's notable because he played a really key role in getting Vance selected as the VP.
Julie, you mentioned her earlier. What can you tell us about Vance's wife? She'll have a big moment tonight as well when she introduces her husband.
Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, states.
She will. This will really be a family event. And she's a trial lawyer and a former judicial clerk. And Vance has always said that she has played a big role in his success, dating all the way back to their time at Yale Law School together. In fact, in his memoir, he referred to her as his Yale spirit guide for helping guide him through his time at this elite university. In a joint interview that they did on Fox News just a couple of weeks ago, she admitted that she wasn't necessarily raring to upend her life and get all of the attention that will come with this. But she said that she was open to how things play out. Remember, they found out just a few days ago that their lives were going to change.
She will be in the spotlight tonight. Thank you, Julia. Julia Benbrook reporting live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And you can watch Senator J.D. Vance's official RNC address live right here on KSAT 12. That coverage begins at 9 o'clock. And you can watch the live stream as well on KSAT.com and the KSAT Plus app.
Into news across Texas now. Lawyers representing Private Travis King, the U.S. soldier who crossed the border from South into North Korea last year, is said to be in plea negotiations with military prosecutors. King was set to face a preliminary hearing here in Texas yesterday, but that hearing was delayed. Before crossing over the DMZ into North Korea last year, King had been released from a South Korean detention center on assault charges. He was supposed to fly back to Texas, but crossed into North Korea instead. He was held there for several weeks. He was returned to the U.S. custody in last September. The 24-year-old facing 8 charges, including desertion, possession of child pornography, and assault.
SpaceX founder Elon Musk says he plans to move the company's headquarters from California to Texas. Musk says he made that decision after California Governor Gavin Newsom signed new legislation that prevents school employees from notifying parents if students request to use different pronouns. Musk says the new transgender law was, quote, the final straw. Musk says he views that law and others enacted before that one as an attack on families and companies. He also announced plans to move the headquarters of his social media company X from San Francisco to Austin for the same reason.
And another day, we actually did not hit triple digits, not 100 degrees, 97 our high temperature, at least so far today. That's 2 degrees above average in the record, 105 set back in 1932. Now, I point this out because compared to this time last year, we've had 12 100-degree days so far this year. By this time last year, we were at 23. And so we're clearly not on the same pace as last year. And actually, looking ahead, temperatures will be dipping a little below average. Right now, 100 Del Rio, 100 Santa Maria, into the 90s elsewhere. And as we look into tomorrow, rain chances are up, especially for the first part of the day and into the early afternoon. We'll show you our futurecast and talk about not a very typical July weather pattern coming up, Myra.
All right, thank you, Adam. Still ahead here at 5 o'clock. Does your child know how to swim? If you've been looking for lessons, there are some free sessions out there. We'll share those details coming up next. Here's a look at what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock. Answering the call. Nearly 24 San Antonio police officers are back in SA after helping out in Houston. Coming up, a look at the work they did post-barrel.
They have some stories to tell, too. A chance for high school and college students to peek into the life of aerospace in the Air Force, the program that landed them here at UTSA for 3 weeks, and how the director says this could eventually boost the aerospace industry right here in San Antonio. Plus,
seems like the awareness of these chemicals is growing, but there's still a lot we don't necessarily know about them.
That's correct.
We're talking about forever chemicals, and a new KSAT explains today. What are they, where are they, and how do they impact your health? Plus what SAWS and the Edwards Aquifer Authority found when testing for those chemicals in our water. That and more today on the news at 6. 50 children across Texas have drowned this year so far. In 2 of those tragedies, they were right here in Bexar County.
Yeah, water safety especially important this time of year, but swim lessons can be expensive, but they don't have to be. Patty Santos shows us some affordable options.
Swimming lessons can start off at $35 and up per class. It's not something many of us can afford.
So we started looking for some swim lessons, and it was quite expensive. I believe I saw like $150 for about 6 lessons.
That's the lowest price Ashley Patton found until she came across the free swimming lessons at the City of San Antonio pools.
Just that this is a blessing. Like I said, I didn't really have the extra money to afford to pay for some of the high prices that are around with the other sources of swim school, but I'm just very happy that we were able to get involved with this free.
All 24 pools around the city offer these free classes. Jaime Rivera suggests you register online first because classes fill up fast.
Well, they have to just wait and be patient. That's the only thing I can say.
The third set of free classes will begin soon, so be ready with an account to sign up. Otherwise, you get added to a waiting list.
The limit per class for adults in school age is 10 people. Whoever gets first, they go in a minute.
Kids as young as 6 months and up should start learning water safety, says Jaime.
When I was a kid, I took maybe 2 swim lessons, and I ended up like not hating the water, but I wasn't very comfortable in it. And so when I had my son, one of my goals was to get him to swim lessons.
Both of them are now more comfortable.
He's learning how to be taught, he's learning how to learn, and he's learning structure.
Parents trying to do this on their own can start off by helping the kids learn how to blow bubbles in the water, teach them how to float on their back, teach them how to kick their legs and use their arms, and remind them to always have an adult present when they're in the water. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Wow, that brings back some memories. The YMCA offers 4 classes for $150 for non-members. And like most topics, you may be able to find a lot of helpful videos on YouTube. And when you are ready to hit the water, swimming at city pools is free.
All great resources for sure. Look outside with live cam. Glad to hear we didn't do it today. We did not hit 100, Adam.
No, we did not hit 100. And actually, I don't foresee 100 for several more days. And actually, the foreseeable future 100 is not in the picture, which is nice because, as I mentioned before, we've had 12 100-degree days. But by this time last year, we were actually at 23 triple-digit days. Now, tomorrow, mid-90s, 78 in the morning, 89 at noon, 94 the high. But here's the key. Look at that 40% chance of rain around the noon hour. That actually starts at 9 a.m., that 40% chance, lasts through noon, and then tapers off a little bit in the afternoon. That's not all, though. We have more promising rain chances on the way, up to 40% early next week when the weather pattern is looking a little more favorable for daily scattered or widely separated showers to develop. Here's a big picture right now. See this broken line of showers off to the north of us? That's a weak cool front. That cool front, not the kind that really changes how it feels outside, but it's basically a wind shift line that helps to kickstart some of these showers and storms, and it's going to be moving southward. Later this evening into the hill country, can't rule out a few stray showers popping up. There is the off chance of some remnants making it a little closer to San Antonio this evening and tonight, but it's unlikely that's really going to happen. We're looking more toward when this cold front arrives in our neck of the woods by the late morning and on into the midday. So we're talking 9 a.m. tomorrow, rain chances rise, peak through 11 a.m., and then after the noon hour, they start to fizzle out as that action pushes down to the south and west. So tomorrow's our first shot at rain in what's a very unusual July weather pattern. I mean, look at our temperature trend. 97 on Friday. That's the warmest we'll be over the next 7 days. We could be talking upper 80s for high temperatures by the early to middle part of next week. Here's why. The heat high, it's off to the west, and it's going to stay far to the west of us, bringing the high heat to the western U.S., especially the Four Corners states. That opens the door for this upper level swirl That's going to drop in, that weak disturbance, and actually give us some below average temperatures as we get into next week. So not only are rain chances going up, 40% tomorrow, and then some isolated chances this weekend, but those temperatures are going down. We're not talking triple digits. We're talking maybe we'll hit 90.
Sounds good to me.
Especially for July.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Sports is up next.
Last game for both teams before the break. Alyssa Smith counted.
That's great. Alyssa Smith and the Fever are taking their show on the road tonight in big board sports. Winners of 2 in a row, the Indiana Fever will play at the Dallas Wings tonight. Sunday, the Fever beat the Lynx 81-74. East Central's very own Alyssa Smith had 11 points in the win. She's back in Texas and ready to face the Dallas Wings in Arlington tonight. For more, let's go live to College Park Center where Mary Rominger will get to see it all go down. Mary?
Hey, Larry, yeah, I'm in a bit of danger zone right now, but the Fever are warming up behind me. And when we talked to Alyssa Smith before the season started during Indiana's training camp, the former number 2 overall pick felt very strongly about what this team can amount to, largely due to the continuity between Smith and last year's top pick in the WNBA draft, fellow forward Aaliyah Boston, as well as the added weapon of one of the best shooters that we've seen come out of college, Caitlin Clark. It took a couple of weeks to see Smith's vision come to life, but right now, 25 games into the season, Indiana is trending upwards, and Smith's contributions are at the center of it all.
You know, we're also just a young group, so it's going to take time for us to really understand how to play with one another, to learn our teammates, and you know, obviously AB and I are like in our first and second years, so just learning one another, and I think that comes with game experience, and you're seeing that the more we're out there actually playing in games together, you can really tell our chemistry is still building, and I feel like we're kind of just scratching the surface, and there's so many areas that we can still continue to improve, and at times we show glimpses where we're really, really good, and then at times we, you know, aren't all connected for four quarters, so I think it's continuing to find a way to put 4 quarters together.
Just scratching the surface. Smith is one of the most efficient shooters in the NBA, Larry, and tonight the Fever and Wings are entering their final bout before the start of a month-long break for the Olympics and the All-Star game. At 6 o'clock, we'll hear from Alyssa and hopefully her family. Larry, back to you.
Thank you, Mary. Nice job out there. The Summer League Spurs beat the Pelicans 90-85 last night to remain undefeated in Las Vegas at 3-0. They've now won 4 straight games dating back to their final contest in Cali.
Those first 2 games were kind of tough for us. So I think now it's just coming in and playing hard and just giving it all we got. And whether it's winning by 2 or winning by 20, we just want to win.
So we'll play the 76ers Friday night at 7:30.
Booyah.
Booyah. I just like to say that name.
We'll be right back.
Here are the rain chances for tomorrow, up to 40%, so scattered in nature, late in the morning through the midday, tapering off into the afternoon. So that's good to see. And then some isolated activity as we get into this weekend, but chances are looking promising again into next week. And 40% Monday through Wednesday, maybe a little conservative. We may be upping those chances as we get more information. So that's something we'll keep you watching and have an update on.
All right. Thanks, Adam. And thank you for watching the news at 5.
World News up next. We'll see you back here at 6.